This guy is busy scouring the internet for my content the very same way that I've been scouring the internet for Ally Bill. What does that say? It says that he is a fan and he loves the series enough to search for it and is disappointed mangayitholi. So manje ucabanga ukuthi uzojola no Callister Flockhart ke because you just love Ally Bill, or ucabanga ukuthi ungajola no Lucy Liu or Portia de Rossi because you love Ally Bill and those were your favorite characters. That's when you start to basically qualify as mentally ill. It's one thing to scour the internet for something that is legacy and is no longer online and see if you can't find it somewhere. But it's another in trying to locate that thing for no other reason but to literally try to take out ilobola for Callister Flockhart. And that level of mental illness. You're hlanya on your own. Ingathi together sindawonye manje sesiyahlanya. Mina ngihlanyiswa indaba yokuthi after finding me on the internet and becoming a massive fan of my show. Lo uhlanyiswa indaba yokuthi ucanga angangichata. Sihlanyiswa into eyi-1 kodwa mina ngihlanyisa indaba yokuthi uyahlanya nomuntu. Labantu. It's not just one. That is what the war that you have waged on South Africans has done to people. That is the amount of danger that people have been put in this country by entitled ritualists. Abacanga ukuthi bangathola enye nenye into abayifunayo. Lo muntu lona yi-fan nje e-rabid ehlanyayo kodwa ukuthi uzongichata. So manje when you're busy getting summoned by a subscriber because you stopped posting online, what would you do when you're in your right mind? Okay, ignore. If you're on a hiatus from social media, honey, you're on a hiatus from social media. And if there is some fan that needs you to be posting every single week, whatever, who are you? I don't care. I've got my own life and I make my own decisions. I am an autonomous decision-making being. And I've made a decision that I'm not going to post for a year. So whether or not you get the shakes and you wither and withdraw like a junkie when I'm not posting is irrelevant because I wasn't doing this for you. If you can't exercise self-control, buddy. But I'm not at your beck and call. I'm not at your mercy. I am not your little demons that you summon in a cauldron. Beyonce. I have a crush on some guy by the name of Chooks on the internet. He does comedy content. You're not gonna find me out just like sliding into the guy's DMs trying to be his wife because I think he's up my alley or give my size. No, I understand that I'm just a massive fan of a comedic guy on social media. I'm not stalking Chooks because I'm normal. I'm not stalking Chooks and his bowl of water because I'm normal. I'm not stalking people I think are attractive because I'm normal. I recognize that it's normal to find an individual of the opposite sex seemly, but it's abnormal when you start to become a tick, lice, any kind of parasite up their nostrils, in their hair, bugging the living daylights out of them, giving them a pathogen, spreading a cancer, causing an amputation somewhere. I'm not gonna go and do any of that. And when then somebody does not offer me the same courtesy, I'm like, I'm not coming here. I don't care what you gotta say. Because if I was speaking to Umzansi Wonke, if I was talking to Yonke South Africa on the left and on the right, if scanning the periphery, then ngikhuluma nabantu at least abayi 27, at least abayi 50. If mengithola ama subscribers at least ayi 2 per video when you post out, maybe yes, seeing as heaven rejoices when even one sinner repents. Maybe I might see it necessary to risk my life for the few there be that find the path of life, to put myself in harm's way for the sake of those that could be snatched successfully even out of the flames of hell. My work is haughty, it's hefty, it is deep. So deep is it that they've made me indelible. It's reaching, but like only if I can actually reach someone. You know what I'm saying? So the people who have sat on my chest made me be like, I mean, who do you think you are? I'm not gonna be summoned by some feasting beasts chilling before a pantheon of fake gods, thinking that with them they can summon Umzalwane, a blood-bought, born-again child of the living God. Umzalwane, ophele, filled by umoya oyingcwele. Angibizwa mina, angisamonwa mina, by Korobela, orinje kanguthi ngumfazi wakhona, even though he's God. A litany, a bouquet of other girlfriends and wives. They're non-mentioned because at the end of the day, my unpreparedness to consider this guy is because he's just mentally ill and hangtwanel. Things like he's got STDs and bad character are secondary. His mental illness to think he can date a star, if you will, tantamount, is the reason why he is ignorable and avoidable entirely. And South Africa is littered with such unrealistic zombies like those. Like unrealistic, undesirable, and unrealistic zombies. And apparently they're all we got. They're all we got. No, then on that day, our only choices, options at Utando Lamkakwen is Nina. And Kuranga, and Amazombi Ganga, and Shanganga, ni dangerous Ganga, and the way on born, Guti go and Gugusonke, Wamela, Kibela, Ihashi, anything. Escape. Say for fun. Who your Puma good these streets? Go ba sonke sisenking. Kaufela Ramonka Tazom. Re Kaufela. In danger because jwanong ha se o lelekiswa ke banna ba sa aparang marugu mo strateng ba batla go have sex o ka se lo pala masefa o ka se topa le mapala masefa o se fofane keng. Aren't you gonna board a flight or something, dog? Are you not gonna skip a border? illegally even. They felt like just hop over a fence for no other reason but to escape into echolelekisa. There has been a breakout of a plague of sorts in this nation, and frankly, a lot of our women are in danger of marrying amadoda nje athakathayo, a hectic dog. Izinja ezislida into ama DMs on social media. Next thing you're married to him. It's a gay to date a guy that hollered at you from DMing you. Insofar as alle normal, and insofar as you can, and say if you go to the Lord, seek his face. Bese ayomverifya, oh God, athi uright lo muntu. They just took a chance and you agreed to go on a date with them. You can meet people online, indeed. You can even date someone that you've met on a dating website, whatever. Mara, the grand majority of these crazy relationships that put some ladies in some body bags, or that end up marring women, especially women, maybe even men, with stalkers, start online. I, for the life of me, have never been stalked at this height until the burgeoning, the boosting of social media. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I've been kind of beautiful all my life. And yet, angaze mina ngistalkwe kabuhlungu kanje na. Until now, until recently, until social media. So the great majority of weird creepazoids that follow people around for like ever, sometimes even unto death, that endanger human beings, came about as a result of way too much access per single individual unique person on earth by the rest of the world. It has increased the danger that we all are in the dating scene. Weird. So that's why I don't do online dating, especially considering I'm Christian. So it's hard enough to come across a real saint or get every day, Monday to Friday. How much worse is it then when you go on the internet? And secondly, it's just dangerous because people study you. Do you understand? They study you and then they become what you want. People study you for a season and then they become exactly what it is they imagine you will accept. The likelihood of you being studied so carefully with prosperity on the part of the student to crema so much that they could actually look like they're right up your alley and they're compatible when you have been paraded in front of them on social media is much higher than if you met a person at the mall, if you met a person at church, if you met a person at work, if you met a person at school. Out there in the wilderness as you're hopping about, you are highly unlikely going to meet someone out there in the wilderness that is just going to know you too well until it becomes too good to be true. They study you, and that's why I don't do social media dating, like DM sliding, rando, like online dating, never mind online dating, going out of your way to actually online date, but and then somebody slides into your DMs, and I don't want somebody that knows my life and what I come from, what I've endured, what in the world are my pet peeves. Umuntu that's going to just know these things. Listen, if something is a pet peeve and a deal breaker, it has to manifest naturally in the course of you going on a first and a second date or a third date with somebody and then realizing flames. They're called red flags. They're called things that bring about a gut feeling. And so you flee as a result of observing on a third date ukuthi lo upossessive. Manje umuntu makazofunda carefully ngathi incwadi everything you are by watching you on social media. Bese uyojola nayo, you're putting yourself in harm's way. Like a perfect fit, ngathi he is bespoke. Like a gene you had made custom only because he made himself fit. He only made himself fit. Mara later uzobonisa flames. That's why we are living in the era. And frankly, I never endured that when I was growing up. You all know I'm 41, right? I'm not a spring chicken. I came up growing up in an era where it was just foreign and just it was a, what do you call this? Like it was a moot concept. Love bombing. Love bomb. Like showing a person pulling out all the stops, dog, to make a woman feel like she's the most, like she's the only girl in the world. Love bombing. That then fizzles away after 2 or 3 dates, and never mind all that love bombing, but blocking and ghosting. Oh goodness, like Gen Zs, I am so sorry for how you're growing up. Like listen, I am so sorry. Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, maybe even late millennials, I'm sorry you don't know what it's like to be able to easily make a decision on whether or not you're going to be with someone because of how people just were not that full of mind games when we were on the come up. I think there's just too much advice online that's teaching people to be wretched, that people are then embracing this advice and they are harassing other human beings with it because they think it's cool to be that way. It's cool to be despondent, aloof, unloving, uncaring, full of reverse psychology, narcissistic. I think there's just such a bad clash of the genders right now, and so much foul advice coming from both places, from respective genders, about how to be in the climate of the opposite sex, that people are acting, they are thespians reading a script as to how to be in relationships when they're dealing with relationships, such that they're no longer putting their best feet forward. They're not rocking up to the party to try and woo their love interest and hope that this person will find them interesting based on who they are as well. I think so many people are just taking advice on the internet for love, for dating, for romance, that men are being counseled to just be deadbeat, like cold, aloof, and dastardly monsters to women. Otherwise, they're simps, and women are told, hold back, don't like, protect yourself, be this almost masculine, androgynous, I wanted to say androgynous, not erogenous. Be this masculine, though sometimes erogenous, because they're hypersexualized woman. That's just not going to be who you would have been in your own natural space because of your own natural instincts given you by God as to how to act in the climate of a guy that you like. And so everybody goes in reading a script, and they're thespians acting in a theatrical production. And so there's just a chunk of psychological manipulation going on, expectations being raised to the heavens, and people coming out of there just crashed and burned and full of hate. I am so sorry, Gen Zs, that you're growing up in an era, the ones that were born later, millennials, the way it is that you don't know the authenticity of a guy really just trying. Now from as early as high school, dudes already got games, dog, games. A lot of times games come on later on when everybody has been hurt 20,000 times, and so now their reaction to that pain is to be a gamer. But in the beginning, love tends to be quite simple. And I grew up in a recent enough time, however, distant enough time to remember much better, like, relational experiences with guys. I remember a time of that nature. And so the whole concept of love bombing, I don't know it. And I'm pretty sure that most of my peers, at least up to a certain point, didn't know it. Love bombing, where a guy just invests his might, his all, his splendor, and then on the 6th date after, pulling out all the stops, and just goes cold, aloof. Guys, if they liked you, you knew it. And you just knew it. They didn't play with a woman that they really liked. They didn't dance around that lady. They didn't waste time. Like, I don't know what's going on now, but social media has made dudes dance around, dilly-dally around women that they are voluptuously enamored with. They play games. They don't pursue. They try to get women to a point of groveling at their feet so that they can go in for the kill and so guarantee their success in so being with her. And so you will easily find a guy that has been besotted with a woman for 3 years and he's never made a single move. That's a modern day weird thing going on. And this Dumi monster, I'm 41 and I think he's got amnesia about that. I think he has amnesia about the fact that I am a late millennial, bordering on being an Generation X, so I'm an Xennial. And I grew up in a time where, frankly, I was pursued by guys who liked me, and I knew that they liked me because they did not ever make me work like a dog to understand that they like me. So to be dealing with somebody that is sitting 10,000 kilometers away, studying me carefully, hoping to bring me to my freaking knees, that I might imagine him to be the only thing that makes sense, is bizarre. Lo muntu wakhona is 40 years old this year, from what the Lord has shown me, and despite growing up in my generation, has been, however, tarred, marred, and tarnished by this modern era. You've been trained, oh zombies, to be this weird thing. And so now you're full of stalking. You're full of surveilling people that you have interest in for such a long amount of time that you no longer qualify as normal. And so now you're scary. And in being scary, those of us who love the Lord are protected supernaturally by Him. But in this era of scary men, there is also an epidemic of witchcraft that is forcing people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, to accommodate scary men. So you're marrying your subscribers that have been staring at you for 3 years. Why in the world would you want to marry somebody that has known you so well? Why would you want to marry someone that did not gather intel on you organically, but where you were the one out to just vomiting all of your stats too? And now that they know you very carefully, they will cross all the T's and dot all the I's. Dot all I's and cross all T's to make sure that there's nothing wrong with him. Or will you not even end up being insecure in the climate of a person that is that perfect when he is presenting himself at first? Will you not? Eh? You don't know them, so you drop the ball naturally the way that you tend to drop the ball. You are still off-putting in the way that you've been off-putting. To some people, there are certain things that you do that are off-putting. You're still that thing. But this person is just perfect. Like, they come from heaven and they're here to be your Messiah. And they perfectly do everything just like our Messiah does everything perfectly. But you're the one that's always dropping balls. You're the one that has something that you do that they don't like. That's the kind of stuff that would make a guy be like, I like Arabo, but hey, I don't like how she just always burps in her ministry. She will just burp out of the blue. I don't like how she laughs. I don't like that when she eats, she talks with her mouth open. So, I mean, it's enough of a turn off for me to walk away. I don't like that she wears a size 7 shoe. I prefer my women with a size 3. So, since I've got a foot fetish, I'm not going to be with Karab. You avoid me on that day very early on when I rock up with my giant foot on a date. But now, you've got these dudes that are out there acting like they don't care about your giant foot. acting like they don't care about your birthday and your nuances, the things you do. Out here acting like they don't care that when you laugh loud with your mouth open and there's still food in there and you don't care to cover up. Whatever might be your issues, they're acting like they don't care because they have so studied you for such a long amount of time that all these things they'll overlook them because everything else is just worth it. What has made them see that everything else is worth it? The amount of time that they have spent looking at your advantages and your disadvantages, and then figure that your advantages are loftier, essentially giving them way more time to study you than you ever would have studied them. People out here being prepared to overlook the disadvantage of you being 41 years old and so likely infertile, can't bring forth children, but everything else about you, I like you, personality, this, that. There's a lot going on for her, so I'm gonna go and take a risk. If a guy has all this time been shallow enough to disregard a woman because she's 40 or over the age of 40, then you would have dodged a bullet if you dated organically out there in the world of an ageistic guy that's just gonna keep mocking you for aging. You would have dodged that bullet. You would have dodged it. But if at all you're this eccentric, vivacious 41-year-old that he's like, I'll overlook her age because everything else about her makes sense. Hey, you're gonna be in danger in a relationship on that day. Whereas if you had met somebody organically out there in the wilderness that when you met, found out very quickly that you're 41 years old and was like, whatever, I don't care, and still continue to talk with you, that's a person that is not ageistic. That is not going to harass you because of your age. That is not perturbed by the fact that you're 41. That's not worried that you're not going to be able to give him children. He's not worried about that because to him, whatever he has met today at church or wherever that he's getting to know over the next coming weeks is enough for him to fall in love little by little, because whatever little I'm learning every single time we talk on the phone, every time we go have ice cream, every time, it's enough. I'm running with it. And so how important it is that you're 40 is just not to him. That's why I just don't like online dating. No. Abantu that are going to be turned off by your age, but hey, but you're beautiful for your age. You're beautiful for your age. You're beautiful for your age. No. And I've got a whole bunch of students, leerlings, is that what they're called in Afrikaans? Students, carefully studying me, weighing me up. There is a table with advantages and disadvantages of being with a woman like me, whether the issue here that they have is my age or my unemployment or my wada. And they're like, but okay, so these other things are a little bit taxing, a little bit challenging, but oh, look at all the other advantages. Kimokotsi, disrespect from here to Timbuktu. So I'm sorry, Gen Zs, that you have to grow up in this weird culture. But it's the very thing that I've been speaking about. Give your lives to God. So you are not going to mistakenly marry a creep that's going to bewitch you from here to Timbuktu. Without you knowing that you are bewitched, you just think you're enamored. You just think you're fascinated. You just think you are obsessed. You just think you can't stop thinking about the baboon. You see the epidemic, the disease, the coursing pathogen that you see in the show, The Polygamist. Such a naive disposition on the part of women, as you see in that movie, is barely, not movie but show, it is barely ever achieved without the assistance of sorcery. In the show, The Polygamist, there's no hint to the involvement of witchcraft causing that level of dystopian self-defeat on the part of the brains of women. But a lot of times, these polygamistic men need sorcery in order to go in order to succeed, to make a 19-year-old or an 18-year-old best friend of the daughter of a man to date her dad. That kind of stuff only happens because some chick has been influenced to allow that level of reputational damage to happen because of witchcraft. A wife just sticking around with a man that, never mind sticking around, but a woman herself recommending isitembu to a man because she just can't let go of witchcraft, manipulation by spirits. Mapita or Matipa or whatever, the mistress lady, all these women that this guy was with, a lot of their behavior tends to also be solidified by sorcery. So now when you've got that level of mental illness just coursing through the veins of our men and their entitlement, you need Jesus. I've been watching Smallville on Netflix, and in season 2, I think episode 2 or something, Liz Hurley, remember how fly she used to be back in the day, seduces and ends up married to Lex Luthor. And this here happens because the woman has a superpower to breathe something through a kiss into the nostrils of a man and the mouth of a man until whatever she says, he just follows suit. So that's how she ends up married to billionaire Lex Luthor. Ultimately, the marriage gets annulled because she gets found wanting. But you see that whole scene in Smallville. That's how these men are. This Tumi guy, Tlanyang, that thinks that he can marry a celebrity that he found online. I use celebrities because I want you to understand how bizarre his behavior is, though I am not a celebrity. But it's a similar concept. The guy kisses women and they just fall apart. They fall apart because there is a spell that he uses using kissing that causes women to essentially accommodate a whole chunk of his trash, a whole chunk of his crap, without having any consideration for how this is going to fare in their own lives. So they become self-defeating. They overlook the use of things like condoms and they end up with STDs, and despite the STDs, look at Marimabe, his little side chick that's destroying my life right now. Yeah, I mean, with her, it's also a personal agenda, a personal vendetta, but more than it is a personal, why would it be a vendetta? Because I've never done anything to this chick to deserve revenge, but nonetheless, she just feels entitled to destroying me. This mighty chick, was given HIV, syphilis, oral herpes by him, and a litany of other STDs, has visible sores on her mouth, was given a smell in her body that was hard to eradicate because of all of her STDs. Despite this, she is helping his agenda along. I mean, that is a woman that she has snuffed lines of witchcraft like they're cocaine and is therefore excruciatingly high. And that is why she is just at the mercy, at the beck and call of this weirdo. That's what's going on with women. That is what's happening with you. And in a nation where there is an epidemic of HIV and AIDS just spreading, you know how Jonas keeps on drinking herbal medication and whatnot, but won't take his ARVs, and that's why the guy ends up dying from full-blown AIDS. This Dumi guy is exactly like Jonas. He doesn't take his medication. I don't know if he's taking herbal medication for it, but what is certainly true is that he insists on maintaining his HIV transmissibility, his infectiousness, his viral load at a decent enough height that he might succeed to infect whoever he sleeps with because he's actively spreading it. He, however, does not want to die 2 seconds from now. So because he doesn't want to die 2 seconds from now, he takes just enough ARVs iteratively, sporadically, but not frequently enough for him to be undetectable so that he can be maintained as infectious, because he's picking a bone with women. And just like Jonas, he's CEO of some company. In the office. That's exactly what this Madimabi nonsense did. She seduced him, you understand? And now she's popping ARVs. ARV just as Umatipa in The Polygamist. Megatata antibiotics after what is this? Gonorrhea. She was, you know how in the show she's got gonorrhea. She got gonorrhea. She was diagnosed with gonorrhea. Tatama medication wake. As well, Joyce. Tati medication. Tati medication. Everybody is taking meds. Wants to get better. Does not want a lingering STD. That's going to make you infertile, that's going to make you smell all the day long, that's going to make you a taboo in society, that's going to make you a very unhappy human being. Remember how I told you that this guy has an ex-wife that was always going to disk him? I made a joke saying that the way a pharmaceutical before I get so I'm preparing like order because if at all they were to start preparing it when she's in front of the in front of the pharmacist, they could be here all night, they could be here all day. So the moment I can go or even the night before in Jeffela. Because all night batla ba sebetsa Jeffela ba ntse ba paka di medications tsa gagwe. Mosadi wa teng wa go nya dipilisi. Doctor mosadi wa teng ke hae mo jwetsa hore o sure go batla go mo lenyalong lena. I'm speaking to you not as a doctor but as a friend. Ngoba every time you come to me I have to diagnose you with a new disease. Unjalo lo muntu we are spreader and icondom yena ndaba nayo, and this kiss of his is what makes women dizzy enough to not even use condoms with him. Even though first time liye mfazi wakhona wagcina akwatile wamdivorce because ona khathese ke nonzo yako doctor alotsuba dipilisi ona khathetse ke ho kwenya kweng. Mara basadi ke bona bankang di ARV tsa bona, basadi ke bona bankang di antibiotics, basadi ke bona bankang anti-parasitic medication, whatever might be the thing that this guy put in their bodies. Yibo abagwinya amapilisi ukuthi bayo better. Kodwa uJonas yena no, he's drinking herbal medication. Anza tlhokometse ke engwe nyatsi yazi the show. It's everything that he want guy on. The little girl on the 19 though, the best friend, I forgot what her name was, of the daughter that Aljo went and slept with and whatnot, that taboo. The one that was the last one that he was with. Jonas before Sean. There is a scene where she's out here fornicating with the boyfriend agency in a bedroom in the same house where Jonas is out here passing away from full-blown AIDS. And I'm like, my point exactly. They infect emergencies ahamba bayolala namanye emergencies. They infect little girls and the little girls go and sleep with their own boyfriends. Abanye abancane. And then everybody has HIV in the room. It is implied in the show that obviously that the little girl that was sleeping with him, the teenage girl, it's obvious she was infected because the HIV came as a result of the arrangement by the wife through some HIV positive chick, and at the time of this new chick rocking up to give this guy HIV, he was already living with a teenager. So like it's implied that the teenager had it too. I told you, Jonas, take your medication. Why don't you take your medication? The women are the ones that pop their ARVs until they're undetectable. They're the ones that pop their antibiotics until they have no more infection. Mara the men, they will keep a wart on their manhood. They will some STDs are even undetectable for a minute. On amadota in particular, in a way that with women puma it discharge weird. Yibo abahlohlonyelayo abafazi. Ke bona ba ingwaya. Banna mara sometimes ha go bona gale. So umuntu akathatha amapilisi while umfazi uthatha amapilisi. So madimabi wadi kwenye di ARV wadi nka di antibiotics kodwa lenja yakhe uyawaziba uya-avoida. Sometimes he takes them sporadically or aska athola full-blown AIDS same time or aska thoka fala ka speed keeps himself healthy enough to not have full-blown AIDS, but the guy is spreading it. Indoda enjalo one day nahana hopping up and down in your ministry nje fe ubhizi wena wenza umsebenzi wamudimo akwagobatla batla gonyala abare Karabo was my next victim. Karabo was the next person ozothola i-ARV yam i-HIV yam. Karabo is the next one ozokhunya amapilisi for gonorrhea, trichomoniasis. Karabo is the next one that's going to get into eminangnayo wagogeta. Now imagine meeting a man like that when a waitress at a restaurant, when a student at varsity, when a new intern in the office, or some new lawyer. You know how whatever, and she was in legal and regulatory. She was a little lawyer working for the company in the compliance space in the same company. So whatever it is that might be your rank, you might be a whole young professional that's doing really well. You don't even have to be umuntu entry level or whatever. Ungena laphaya with a clean bill of health kodwa because we are papa we charge matipa uzoseduce a CEO and end up ukwenye amapilisi when uzowagwing, because when you don't want to spread HIV, when as a woman you are not interested in untona so untokula untokhohlola when over healthy. How happy gona le HIV mara o kunya di ARV tse put malesa wa hao a hana ho dikweng. Put malesa wa hao wa hana hure ho dikweng. I mean, where did they get that idea in the show? Where did they get that idea in the show to bring forth put malesa ongena ndaba ongazingeni ongazibuy iskelem sama ARV? It's because it's happening so ubiquitously, so commonly. I made a joke in the 14-part series that I have appended this here first part in. I made a joke that witchcraft in this country and this Botmadlasa epidemic is as commonly occurring in South Africa as the schwa sign in the English language. The sign that goes, the sound, the schwa sound. That is like umbrella. That thing at the end of umbrella is, it's called the schwa. And God made a joke saying that witchcraft in this country is practiced so ubiquitously by so many people that it's as commonly occurring, ubiquitously occurring all over South Africa. Like the schwa sound in the English language. Is so much, and what they do to you, it's just such a pandemic that y'all need Jesus. So you will not be accounted among the statistics of a nation of people that keep on getting infected by people that, because of the prevalence of HIV in our country, you would imagine that sex education would make sure that people would easily just use a condom when they are engaging in sexual relations. Easily, it is the first thing that would come to the surface of your mind, right? Yeah. Something. Honey, something that is obvious to you. You are in Africa, please. When something odd comes obviously to you, but it doesn't, you just overlook it. You find yourself going from one thing leads to another. Next thing you're having sex unprotected. That's why y'all need to leave the world. Get with Christ. That you might be immune to, never mind fornication, because you're not doing that, right? But also, it's bad enough you're fornicating, now you're also doing it raw with a guy you met last week. He's always splurging on women. What makes you think obviously you're cool? As the woman, antibiotics. You're just gonna watch him and walk around monakadi so momulumu. This to me guy, diso. Hatlo for this. Abazwan na medication and angazi ukuthi yini ngabo. Maybe maybe the demons in them have made them so self-destructive. Mara, I mean really and truly, what's gonna protect you from ending up in the hands of such a crazy gnarly Botmadlesa as that? Oh God. First and foremost, abstinence. The Lord insists on it. Fornication yanbulala lankutla. Yala ravas. Protect a condom at your leisure. Protect a condom until one day you end up having sex without one. Why? I'm so careful usually. Got to this time around without protection. Next thing, a few weeks down the line, you've got a funny rash. You get sick. Some people have symptoms. The early onset of HIV, however, it goes undetected for a very long time. The one time when you went unprotected, why? Especially considering you had sex with that person so quickly after the first time you met them. Who protects you from buloi? Liz Hurley, go Smallville. This thing, this magic that she breathes into a man, and then is just dizzy and ends up doing her bidding. But Clark Kent, Superman, Superman. Y'all know I like science fiction. Is the only one that's immune. Clark Kent is the only one that could resist her. Long story short, you in yourself have to have a superpower. You in yourself have to have a spirit that can resist that level of demonic manipulation in order for you to be the one person that Inja can think even I'm a condom. You'll be the one person that's like, I'm not even trying to kiss you and food indoda nje ethrivayo ephilayo ngemithi day and night 24 hours a day. All he can do is grant, chant, and afflict you with his pantheon of gods. You're the one that because you've got the spirit of life in you, angakuthikazisa ngeheadache, maybe angakubora ka demonic oppression, ukafila some kind of under the weather, heavy, ingathi you're walking underwater. You can feel the oppression around you. It's not like you're so immune that you're still jumping up and down like a kangaroo in the streets. No, you will feel it, but it'll feel like demonic abuse. It'll feel like witchcraft attack. Christians, experienced, even non-experienced, will tell you what an attack feels like. You get heavy, maybe sleepy, really sleepy. You might get a headache, light on your feet. Even though you slept for 20 hours, you will still feel like sleeping some more. But you will know that it's a demonic attack, and so you pray through it, and then you come out on the other side. Mara, you don't suddenly feel like I need to go and sleep no time. Especially considering you are regulated by a moral code. You don't fornicate. So, in that now is bizarre. It's like, dude, have you no respect for my convictions? I don't have sex before marriage. Ngama sex spells, hey guys, wait again, Africa. This to me guy's not the only one that has afflicted me. Eventually. But all that it'll come to you as when you are a Christian is why did I get a sex dream? I don't like any of that. You will ward it off like it's a stank in the room, like umsuzo. You'll aerate and then you will carry on as normal. And the funny feeling that you have, you'll also overcome that over time. Or headache, 2 days, maybe even 1 day, perhaps even just a few hours. Especially when you're fasting. That level of protection, it don't come anywhere else. I'm telling you now, other than in Jesus Christ. I need to go pee. Okay, I'm back. No, that level of demonic, okay. That level of demonic attack. What girl, no guy. You don't conquer that without Jesus. So, I know I can be long-winding. Here, this video, this appendage. I didn't even intend on Ukuluma too much, just to only introduce in the next video, because in the next video, I was basically recording as one who is speaking in retrospect because now I'm in South Korea. Because listen, my mind was made up. My mind is made up. Not only am I leaving here, but I don't ever intend on posting again from South Africa because because of decision ya Modimo, not because of Luna. And jaka ga ke le free ga kana, and I'm about to soar like a bird. Because ever since that video, I went on to, thanks to a lack of self-control, watch The Polygamist. Not only that but watching The Polygamist did not cause me to come here and talk. I would have just been like, yeah, I know and then move on. Maybe what's going on is like almost like a patient, especially rude to abadogotela that is terminal. We are shown aguna hope that they're gonna survive, and this person is just rude. Rude moto wa tlhokafala mara sentsene ali rude umuntu uyashona kodwa usase rude ngiyatlhaloganya. So long story short, when I as a hospice nurse or a hospice doctor that's dealing nalenja, I mean, like, he's dying anyway, and frankly he is the bane of the whole entire hospice's existence. Udelela wonke umuntu, wonke ama patients, ama visitors, family members. This guy wants to die and zaruhaka everybody. So I mean, you could, as a doctor, just let him to himself until Ashona Lomuntu, because he's dying anyway. So you're not expediting their death, you're just letting them finish dying without intervening to see if you can't perhaps give them 5 more days of life that they might reconsider, think harder, maybe call in all their grandchildren and children and apologize to them for their most rude disposition. Hey, give them 5 more days or muto and abele introspection ay nahan. Ma the way I the way angapelang abones na corner, the way wonke umuntu crash up in the ward is tired. And I mean, these are dying people. So now babafuna nje impefumulo, babafuna ipeace, bafuna ikgotso, bafuna impumulo. As they're dying, babatla ho lore babaya ko grandchildren, babatla babaya ko husband. But I mean, like, the guys in the bed next to them is just so rude, breaking the hearts of people that are on their way to eternity. If he dies, frankly, everybody's better off. But like, one day then comes this like nurse that also is endured through this most cataclysmic patient, and gets to taken to the end of herself. But she has a different spirit, like Caleb and Joshua. You know how it's written in God's word that Caleb and Joshua had an impressive, beautiful, lovely spirit. God loved the spirit of Joshua and Caleb. They were of a different spirit than the other witnesses that came from Canaan. And because this nurse has a different spirit, even though naye udinekile ile sidina noma afuna ukumiyekela nje ukuthi ashona ngoba wonke umuntu ukhathalela esibhedlela. I mean, it's not like lo muntu uyasalvageka akasindiseki. It's not like lo muntu lona singambringa back from the death, but it's a matter of him dying in like 2 days as opposed to 2 months, dog. He's still on his way out. He's still on his way out, and every single day he makes someone cry. Like Georgie Porgy pudding pie kissed the girls and made them cry. And then because Lones has a different spirit like Caleb and Joshua, wonke umuntu is like, yo, in 2 days sonke siyothola impumulo. Uyashona lo muntu, there's no way he's gonna survive. We'll just go to the bed and act like we're putting like a warm towel to wipe their sweat or whatever. We'll change his catheter. But yo, I'm no longer administering any more medication. Like, he don't need it. He's wasting government resources, frankly. Medical aid medical aid my premium. So now he's also using government resources, and frankly, we're not getting paid enough as we're government. After all, is this not South Africa? So will every so often put a warm towel on his forehead, but let him go. I mean, we're not killing him. He's gonna die anyway. And then this nurse with a different spirit starts working in the hospice, deals with this bamboon in herself. Woo! But then, I mean, after all, the chick got a different spirit. Know what I'm saying? It don't come easy, that spirit. It don't come out of nowhere like a bat out of hell. It's rare. And it's the spirit of God. And God is magnanimous. He is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. He's the one that forgave the thief on the cross on his deathbed. God uqolela umuntu that wonke umuntu sekaphume kuye. God uqolela umuntu that wonke umuntu didn't think could ever do a 180. The Lord is the one that be out here recovering a valley of dry bones. They're not even on their way out. They're already dead. Then he says to Ezekiel, "Oh, son of man, can these bones live?" I don't want to be presumptuous, so I'm not going to answer this question like I know it all. I'm just going to say, I don't know, God, only you know, can they live? They said in the valley of dry bones, yapil. Oh, God is the one who landa la matambo ashonile. A dry, ashy, frankly pulverized. They say our reassembler and then puts some flesh over there. Oh, shameless, nasty little dry bones that passed away from indiscretion. God can make them live. So seeing as this chick is coming with the spirit of that God, but even though he in herself, like Ezekiel, akazoba presumptuous and think ukuthi la matambo azophila ngoba kudala la matambo kudala adelela la matambo. Khalatela. Middle name of la matambo is Deloms. Khalatela. So hatlo presume nes ena because akere wa tsebo ga se modimo. She knows herself ukuthi akusu God. Umzalwane, but she's in herself, not God. Angisho lo mzalwane ukhathele naye kodwa uyazi deep down ngaphakathi somewhere in those crevices where ake God mara le nna ke tenile grandshap nyatlhaloganya ukuthi why wonke la bodokotela nama-nurse and even other patients nabo no they baqedile ngale. I get it, and frankly mina, if it was up to me in my humanity as umuntu mengizomyekela ukuthi ashone kinini aphefumula let him die. I say, oh God, Abuza, this chick, son of man, daughter of man, can that little bag of bones live? I mean, what else can a nurse answer that has a different spirit like that of Caleb and Joshua? I don't mean to be presumptuous, Jesus. I don't know. Can they? You only ask God, I don't know, can they? Because you can't say no, neither can you say yes, because while you might be a Christian, you are not Christ. So you ask God, can they? And God will be the one to then not so much answer if these bones can live, but he will tell you, prophesy to them. And say, you're ashy, looking like a cadaver. All the day long with no heartbeat. What's wrong with you, Beetlejuice? The Lord can make a daughter or a son prophesy over some deadbeat ashes. Tambondini, casket and dini, stumbo. Oh, God can make you talk to his stumbo dog. Like, listen, Angnandabanani, South Africa. It's giving me silo rula. Yeah. Amen. Cemetery, cadaver, crematorium, just scribbled all over your forehead by a 5-year-old experimenting with the alphabet. Crematorium. Even abantwana bayazi ukuthi nishonile ure. Wonke umuntu grandshap needs to go and attend an unveiling the way that it's been so many weeks since ushona. No, bese uGod aya ku amatambo grandshap awasanuki nokunuka the way amameka sewaqedile ukudla ngakhona. Been dead for a minute lenjale. You. Bese uGod athi prophesy and saying ngicela niyophila do. andibona ukuthi lento niyenzayo ayizolasta ntho le iqadile ngeke sikhona uyifetsa kopa le looking around, scan the periphery, make like us come around, make like a circle, a 360-degree, and take a turn around your country and just look ukuthi niyenzeni izinjandini enithakathayo. Lona baholoya baho-exploita wonke umuntu kopa nje fanele shebe ngolenzeng South Africa. Grab looking paraphernalia, magnifying glass, anything, periscope. Uma eyazi ukubuka kopa le shebe nkamohara DJing, and anticipate the rebuke you deserve. Anticipate the rebuke you deserve because you destroyed an entire country. Amen. Let's go fella. After all, aren't you doing is come around? Serekisitowe. Clown. You've destroyed an entire country. Are you really gonna carry on? Na kopa le nkarabeng tu. Lona that are wheezing as geriatrics about to breathe your last on your deathbeds, having annoyed everybody, literally everybody. You have made the whole country unable to breathe. Wonke umuntu uya suffocate lana. Everything is asphyxiating. Yeah, because you have stolen all the oxygen in the room. You did that. Uzophila na yini? Like the thief on the cross. Awubona ukuthi winja. That's why you've been crucified. You are guilty, unlike the son of man who's innocently hanging on that cross. When guilt. Uzophila yini? Or uzodelela like the other thief that was like, if you're God, why don't you bring yourself down from that cross? Omunye was humble. So who among you, deadbeat South Africans here, because you deadbeat, who among you will make like the thief on the cross and choose not to die permanently? Seeing as you're about to die any minute now, the first death, Lord Togafa, your country's on its way out, I don't think it can be brought back. Just like the terminal patient cannot be brought back. Hakuna medical intervention that can ever be embarked on that's gonna make this person live. That they can get a shot at eternal life. At least. I get a lepelagadi at least imamomzansi. All you got is at least. Antandi be all and end all. Halerati neither eye has seen, no ear heard, no mind conceived, the things which God has prepared for those who wait on him. Ne pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Abundance. You want just enough, at least. I get a little to go settle. Can compromise. At least in chatile karab. Yo. Kodwa man jonga the quality of their marriage. Unyetse satani keep my lesa grashapo nele subscriber se go diemile mbese go lawyer obosenyala. So I mean really, lerata at least mina nginabantwana. Kodwa labantwana bonke bayagula ngama generational curse kwamele bayo deliver fresh out of the womb already lo muntu seka manifesta ngoba wena udecide ukuyenza umntwana nomuntu nje ongenzi sense. You decided to go and give a married man a baby. What makes you think ukuthi abantwana bakho bazothatha DB izono zenu? What makes you think that you have not set your children up for failure from the get-go? I'm here virtue nje fella of coughing everywhere and just popping abantwana nje abazalwa ngama issue. They come into this world nje fella kani issue. That's what I'm enduring. I came into this world getting issues and I'm still fighting them in 41. Battle, this war. In 26, that's when I went to war with it because that's when I got born again. It's been 15 years and I'm still fighting. Because my mom was like, at least nang chadi. What a woman that he didn't deserve. I'm treated like nyoru. Nanga my habits anwatandi kodwa compared to everything else impressive. So langa mina belalona halena taba, because that's a small little glitch in the matrix. Everything else is so awesome about this woman, whereas there's some guy out there in the wilderness that would have probably passed me up if I were to dare take out a tissue and blow my nose in front of you. I don't like women who blow their noses publicly. Dodge the bullet, because if a man cannot take that in his stride, under normal circumstances they're not gonna take, because everything else is so great, because you got time to study a lady. I'm at least anjani. Let's at least abundant provision that God promised you if you just wait. Ask anything in my name, if my words abide in you, and if you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask anything in my name and it'll be given to you. Unithembise izinto ezikimahure uGod. Nathi yami nangifuni 5 bob. Mina grand nge-250, mina I am okay with half loaf. Yo, half loaf, God. Never mind half. Ngoba full provision. For what, for who? How long have you been single? Listen, since you broke up with your ex-boyfriend 15 years ago. Girl, it's okay. Mina ngifuna ukuyodila ne-fear of the unknown. Fear of not being able to have children, even though mengibafuna hure. Fear of ukungachadwa ever, even though mengifuna umyeni wami. Fear of whatever it is that nithani nithukile. At least you're not. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it in your stride. I mean, listen, if they're giving you eternal life with nothing else, baby, let's try it. Take it. At least. So I mean, that's a thing, do we? You are terminal, you're in hospice care, but baby, it don't gotta end like this for you forever. There is something called a second death. In that place the worm dieth not. There is weeping and gnashing of teeth for all of eternity, and the smoke of your torment will rise up forever, and there is no rest for you day and night. So I mean, even if like there's nothing in it for you, even if I get at least I didn't get to watch her walk down the aisle and sing Etta James's At Last. At least I didn't get to be all that nice and loose. At least it's quite some satiated. I'm just jealous over a woman I've never met in my life, but like listen, I can't have her be married to nobody else because I'm that beast. Follow and hopping up and down, making like a kinky clip springer out here in these streets. You're a hopper. You're not a walker. So njengoma we follow kangaka, I know I can't have Garabo get married. Listen, lebalang. How? Khalense le Garabo lebala ngamene thana ka biki ngamene hale ka reng kampane le felix kampane ka dula mona ke ntse ke feelang ka re ke nyoko ya motho rather than watch Garabo get married because on that day I'm gonna feel like trash. The tries nje fela ku accommodate the life conditions eziwek ezibandayo ezingayenzi sense kodwa niplome kuzo ngoba at least mina ngamene ngaploma in this uncomfortable situation kule figure hugging bodysuit enginikeza ama varicose veins every song sompareng very tight and watch Garabo get married and be happy. So since you're used to tight corsets making it impossible for you to live, baby, take at least eternal life, because it, in comparison to what it is that you're ultimately going to endure, it's the be all and baddest, most like bomb blastest at least that you will ever do. Your whole life will have been encapsulated by a plethora of at leasts. Let this one be the final one. Keep with the trend. In so keeping with the at least trend, say to yourselves, at least I get to go to heaven after destroying my whole entire country. I mean, do you not see how ironic all that is? Is God just not full of a sense of humor? Look at all those aphorisms and idioms littered about your general disposition describing all that which you are. At least you got to go to heaven after at least getting married to a deadbeat psychopath, ritualist that has made your children need deliverance. At least after all that compromise, he went to heaven. Oh, God kept your idiomatic life going. Take it. Because this video, understand y'all, my mind was made up. No, correction, my mind is made up. My mind is made up. Angisazokhuluma mina nabantu basemzansi. Banyulela la 14 part series ngizame ngamzima kabi. Ungakhuluma iZulu, iSwana nothing. Ngoba mina mengizitshela ukuthi ngizokhuluma nje nabantu that don't understand my languages. La ngiyakhona, angizolalelwa ngabantu basemzansi kodwa ngishilo ngathi ngisazonizama ngoba ngiyakwazi ukukhuluma iZulu isingisa ngisho la sekhona. Senze ngitolezama South Africa until for as long as it takes for me to learn Korean fluently with all of their intonations, with all of their collocations and colloquial terms, with all of their nuances, their jokes, how they drop their jokes, until I get that right.